Howdy, Banger Pals. Blaine Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly, Bangers Monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. As always, I have scoured the internet to find you the 5 best underground metal albums coming out this month. As with every month, it is February. It's almost February. Some things had to get moved. I don't know if you know, we got a lot of snow in Toronto, and it caused some issues with scheduling. But you're getting February early, isn't that nice? You also get a calendar of some of the new noteworthy releases. There's not a lot going on. It is February, but it's metal, so there's always something going on. We just got a big spotlight, big shine on metal, because when Alex Honnold climbed that big building, they wanted us to really know he was listening to Tool the whole time. The whole time, he was listening to Tool, because it's the perfect band to go with something like that, because you don't want a band that's going to do anything interesting on a record and distract you from the task at hand, So, calendar time, February 6th. For the first one, just a special shine. This is a friend of mine. He's releasing a Funeral Doom record. I know Funeral Doom isn't everybody's thing, but if you like Funeral Doom, it's fantastic. Funeral Doom. Bales of Flesh, Upon This Endless Ocean, I Drift Aimlessly on Stygian Mariner Records comes out. Mayhem is, of course, releasing Liturgy of Death on Century Media, and Raga's come out of hibernation, so we're getting 60 Raga records in the next 3 weeks. Paganizer is releasing As Mankind Rots on Extreme. February 13th, of course, Converge is releasing Love Is Not Enough on Death Wish / The Epitaph, Suffer and Thuckataph. Worm is releasing Necropolis on Century Media. Yay! February 20th, you've got Masquerade releasing Carving the Causeway to the Otherworld on $20 spin. Exhumed is releasing Red Asphalt on Relapse. February 27th, Carpenter Brute is releasing Leather Temple on No Quarter. Necrofire, hey Christian, yay, is releasing Transcend into Oblivion on Metal Blade Records. And Rob Zombie is releasing The Great Satan on Nuclear Blast. So that's the calendar. Let's get into my 5 picks for the best records coming out this month. And starting off weird, it's Cryptic Shift, Overspace, and Supertime Metal Blade Records, February 27th. These guys are space tech death / thrash from the UK, which you probably could already guess from the Jesse Jacoby cover art. I think the best evidence of the quality of this is that it is my #1 pick for the month, and it is an hour and 22 minutes long. Picking this record literally doubles the work of any other album, and I am a very lazy man. But when I heard the single on my Sunday stream, because as a reminder, I do research this live every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/Metal Comedy. We look at every album coming out 1 month in the future. I was left speechless, and we know how hard that is to do because in addition to lazy, I am also very annoying on account of all the yapping. I know it's February and it's hacked to do this, but the words album of the year definitely snuck into my noggin as I was listening because it's so surprising. So much is happening, and it's all so weird and alien and interesting and transportative. Look at the words this thing is making me use. It sort of feels like a heavier and significantly less Italian version of Bedsore, which was my 2024 album of the year. And if you're hearing a little Nocturnus AD in there, it definitely has a bit of that vibe too. And it also has a little Nocturnus AD in it, literally, in that Mike Browning of Nocturnus AD is a session musician on this record playing the theremin. And that is the first time I have ever said that in the 7 years of doing this show. Thus, we come to our palate cleanse of the month. It is Burning Path with Burning Path on Dying Victims Productions, February 27th. this is Chilean heavy metal. Yeah, okay. The first record was a lot, and the next record, I'm gonna warn you in advance, a lot. So I figured this might be a good month to double dip the old palate cleanse because we've got some heavy dishes. And speaking of heavy, I do also have to get this out of the way. The band is formed out of Metal Monthly alumni Lucifer's Hammer because Hades was murdered by a stranger, and his brother Titan, who he shared the band with, had the brutal task of deciding what to do after that. So he's made a new project because he said his brother was irreplaceable, and we agree. Now that we're all crying, let's talk about how banging this heavy metal record is. If only this was a more depressing album, that could have segued a lot better, but this is that feel-good Los Angeles by way of Santiago, Chile style heavy metal. You just want to be driving in a convertible with a hot piece of whatever gender ass you're into, especially after Toronto got, like 4 feet of snow in the last week. I'm just listening to this record, filling me with hope. Yes, summer will exist again. It is gonna come, and I have a great record for when it does. Until then, I'll just use it to warm up my workout in the garage. Lord knows the heat pump could use some help on that front. It is crazy outside. Moving on, this record is going to be a lot because it's by a band called Necropolissebeht and Taurunovem after the Serfdome. Amor Fati Productions, February 20th. Oh. This is a German-Canadian war metal band. You've got a cover by Murphislav. There's a black and white photo proving there's a million different ways to have a great album cover that don't involve AI slop. So yeah, I know this record's a lot. Every time I slot war metal in here, I apologize to some of you. I also, every time I slot war metal, I say this, but I just love war metal because it's such a narrow genre, but all these different bands can actually present different themes. In fact, it's incredible. Like on Metal Archives, one of the lyrical themes is subterranean arts. And yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. You're correct. Perfectly summarized. This is evil cave magic. And what's more metal than evil cave magic? Anytime a fresh sounding war metal band drops, they're getting in here. That's just the way it is. Fortunately for some of you, and unfortunately for me, that's not that often. It features Ryan Forrester of war metal legends out of Canada Blasphemy, Hometown Heroes, well, not hometown, home country, as well as Hekla from Metal Monthly alumni Hado Pelagial. It also has a guest credit for doing the interludes. Guest musician did the interludes, which, just like Theremin, might be another first for this show. Can you believe we're 7 years into this marriage and still finding ways to spice it up? Moving on, we got some more weird. It's February. This is where we hide our weird stuff. Night of the Vampire. The Enchanting Winds of the Dreamweaving Masquerade. Profound Lore Records, February 6th. Texas-based Blackened synth, goth, rock, weird amalgam of many things. We have an actual unique vampire cover by Colombian great Subhuman Being. There's this album called Rite of Darkness by Cursed Moon. It came out in 2017, and I've been waiting for a new record ever since. This technically has nothing to do with that, but it scratches the same itch enough that I've finally gotten relief after all these years. It's a metal act meeting Sisters of Mercy halfway there. What pops out, though, is the synths. They're not the style you'd expect to go with something anywhere near the word vampire. They've got more like a 70s, 80s sci-fi feel to the theme than a cheesy Halloween you would normally get. Midway through the album, there's even a track that came as a total twist that I won't ruin here. I love when metal folk blend outside influences in, especially post-punk, instead of vice versa. We all know who I'm talking about, but I don't need to go on about it. I always do. And while this project is anonymous, I do know who it is, and they have more metal cred than you or I'll tell you what. Speaking of metal cred, you know who's got a lot of metal cred with me? Our Patreon supporters, because that's right, we have a Patreon campaign. You give us a couple bucks, we can continue to make content like this. We don't have to put an ad in here, and I can continue talking about bands that people don't know about. It's fun. Please let me. I'm so thankful that you let me do this. Thanks. And if you don't have money, that's cool. I understand. Times are tight. Like, comment, subscribe goes a long way. Thus, we come to our double second palette cleanse of the month. It's Templar Conquering Swords on Jawbreaker Records, February 27th. This is Swedish heavy metal with a very cool Conan watercolor cover. I wish I could make out the signature, or it was indicated on Bandcamp. Credit cover artist on Bandcamp. God damn it, you know who made it, you picked it. So, as was indicated on Bandcamp, this record was recorded under the guiding hand of Stefan Hengner from All Time Metal Monthly fave Century, and boy howdy, does it sound like that. It's got that trademark washed out sound where the vocals take a back seat in the mix. This works so well with heavy metal because no matter what heavy metal vocals are gonna grab your attention. They are always in your face, even if they're in the other room. So it just forces you to take in the whole song, and providing a great retro underground feel to the record on top of that. This thing's coming out in February 2026, and it could have come out 40 years ago. Not to act like he's the most important element of this record, Templar deliver a great dose of that Swedish heavy metal sound that is so timeless. I just figured if you've got Stefan's vouch on a heavy metal record, that means a hell of a lot more than little old me, but needless to say, if you do put any stock into what I say, you will love this record too. Bada bing, bada boom. You'll love all 5 of them, because that's been another successful Metal Monthly. That's it. Is there any records I missed? What's coming out in the underground that's got you excited? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much.